I don't have one of those Snapchat filters, so I've got to do my imitation Snapchat. Okay, it's not going to be easy to discuss my life right now because I don't really have much of a life. So I'll talk about someone else's life. Let's say you're in New York City and it's, I don't know, 11:30 at nighttime, and you decide to go for a jog near Central Park. And you go for your jog, and lo and behold, you come back home and you had a good job, you go for a shower, and you feel really refreshed. And this becomes your new pattern. Every night, 11:30, you'll go for a jog around Central Park. Someone wants to know, are you insane? You're in a great big, enormous city, multi-millions of people, and you're going for a run in the dark. Isn't it dangerous? You would say, well, I've done it for 3 weeks now, and nary anything happens. I just go for a run. And somebody says, well, I still think you're crazy. I think that going out at nighttime in the dark in the middle of New York City is asking for trouble. You say, well, maybe that's what you think, but, for 3 weeks I've been doing it and nothing happens. So, well, the other person says, well, I still wouldn't do it. And they get asked, well, when would you go for a jog in New York City? And they say, well, maybe at high noon. And I don't really understand the difference. Well, at high noon, there's lots of people around. And at 11:30 at night, not so much. Well, who are you afraid of? Lots of people. Oh, I'm afraid of muggers. The muggers are more likely to be out at nighttime than during the daytime. And you say, well, I don't really understand why you think it's more likely you're going to get mugged at night than in the daytime. Well, maybe they've been drinking all day and they're kind of drunk and they don't know what they're doing. And you say, well, even at high noon, you might find somebody that's been shooting up heroin or something. Where do these stories come from that it's dangerous to go out at nighttime? Probably the media. Movies, definitely movies. We get a good sense of what it's like to be a cop from movies. Is it true? I mean, that's what real cops experience, what you see in the movies? I can't tell you because I'm not a cop. Moving along, why else might you not want to go anywhere? The answer is always fear. I have a fear of getting beaten up, getting mugged, getting raped, getting abducted. Never ending possible things that could happen to you that are unpleasant. So the best thing to do is to get one of those safe rooms and live in your safe room forever. I don't really understand why people get too upset about me talking about these things because I don't live in New York City and I've actually never been to New York City. It's just that this was the example used by someone about, a high crime area. And I don't know when. I don't know what crime is like in New York City today. In the movies in the past, they made New York City out to be a dangerous place in like the 1970s. The place has changed in 50 years. What's the takeaway from my little talk? The takeaway is you have your own senses. And those senses you have to come to rely upon. In other words, if you feel fine about going and doing something, then are you going to trust your senses, or are you going to rely on memories of a 1970s Hollywood movie about New York City and stay inside because it's more likely the movie's right than what I'm feeling in my body? How am I going to know what's going on with my body when, I'm in my apartment and, I'm going to go for a jog in Central Park? How can my body know what's going to happen, you know, way the hell ever in Central Park? The answer is the body is non-local. Your immediate senses, your sense of smell and your sight and your hearing are local to your apartment. But you have other senses, spidey senses, like Spider-Man. You have them, and they're non-local. They will tell you what's going on. If you have a bad feeling about going for a run tonight on Central Park, don't go. Because that's your body saying, I'm feeling some negative energy around this particular intention to go for a run. And your job is to say, something's not right. I just don't feel right. I'm not going. And that's basically what you are going to have to start running with, your own intuition, because that's the only thing you're really getting that's true. Everything else is manufactured and unreliable. So, are you going to go for a run at noon or a run at 11:30 at night? Are you going to stay in your safe room? Or are you going to move to Peoria, where perhaps it's a bit safer? You can't say anything about Peoria because I've never been, but, you know, it's just another location and, it's smaller than New York. So is it safer? Can't really say that. Thank you for watching.